The red warning lights flashed across the command center as the alien message played for the third time. Admiral Lee Dong-yoon stood with his arms crossed, watching the holographic display show thousands of enemy ships approaching Earth. The translator struggled with the harsh alien voices, but their meaning was clear enough. 72 hours, whispered Dr. Park Soo-jin from her station. They want us to leave our own planet. Dong-yoon nodded slowly. The coalition had finally come, just as Earth's. Secret planners had predicted decades ago. 7 different alien species, all working together to kick humanity out of their home. They called humans a pest problem that needed cleaning up. What do they offer us? Asked Major Choi Hunsik, his hand resting on his weapon. Colony ships, Soo-jin replied, reading from her tablet. They say we can live on some empty planets at the edge of the galaxy, far away from anything important. The alien ambassador's voice crackled through the speakers again. Its words were cold and final.
Hello.
Earth had value because of its location near major space routes. Humans were just in the way. Dong-yoon walked to the window overlooking Seoul. Millions of people lived their normal lives below, not knowing that alien warships were already blocking out the stars. Children played in parks. Workers hurried to their jobs. None of them knew their world was about to end. "Sir," called Captain Naim Yaji from the communications desk. "All world leaders are requesting immediate conference." "Tell them we meet in 1 hour," Dong-yoon said. "And send the activation code to all hidden facilities." Across the planet, secret messages traveled through buried cables and hidden satellites. In underground bunkers that most governments didn't know existed, ancient. Machines began to wake up. Engineer Kim Ji-soo watched her screens light up in a facility deep beneath Busan. The power readings were enormous. "Protocol Omega is active," she reported to her team. All systems responding. The coalition fleet thought they were dealing with primitive humans who barely knew how to leave their own planet. Every scan they had done showed Earth using simple rockets and basic weapons. Their intelligence reports painted humans as a young species that had just learned to split atoms. They were wrong, Dr. Park. Soo-jin had spent 20 years studying every piece of alien technology that had ever crashed on Earth. The governments had hidden the truth from their people, but they had never stopped learning. Every alien probe that had visited the solar system had taught them something new. "The shield generators are powering up," reported Lieutenant Yoon Gi-won from Luna Base. "All orbital platforms are ready." Dong-yoon smiled grimly. The coalition had made a mistake. He'd watched humans for decades, but they had only seen what humans wanted them to see. Every space launch, every technology demonstration, every military exercise had been carefully planned to look primitive and harmless. "They think we're insects," he said to his staff. "Let them keep thinking that for 71 more hours. The alien fleet was massive. Thousands of ships from 7 different species, all confident in their superiority. Their weapons could destroy entire cities. Their shields could stop anything humans were supposed to have. But they didn't know about the installations hidden in Earth's oceans. They didn't know about the weapons built into the moon. They didn't know about the technology that had been reverse-engineered from their own chef-shit ships over the past 50 years. Major Choi Hunsik studied the enemy formation through his tactical display. "They're not even trying to hide," he observed. "Complete arrogance," Good Dong-yoon replied. "Arrogant enemies make mistakes." The coalition had pushed humanity to this moment. They had decided that Earth was too valuable to leave in human hands. The planet sat at the crossing point of 3 major space routes. Any species that controlled Earth could control trade across half the galaxy, so they had come with overwhelming force, expecting humans to surrender without a fight. Their ultimatum was simple: leave voluntarily, be destroyed. What they didn't understand was that humans had been preparing for this day since the first alien signal had been detected. Every crashed UFO, every mysterious disappearance, every strange light in the sky had been part of a larger picture that only a few people knew about. "Status report from all continents," Dong-yoon ordered. The reports came in quickly. Hidden bases across 6 continents were fully operational. Weapons that shouldn't exist were powered and ready. Soldiers who had trained for a war most people thought was impossible were at their positions. Captain Nam Yeji said quietly, "The coalition is broadcasting their ultimatum to every human on the planet. They want everyone to know that resistance is hopeless." Dong Yun looked at the alien fleet on his display. Thousands of ships, millions of aliens, all certain that primitive humans would crumble at the first sign of real opposition. "Let them broadcast," he said. "Let them think they've already won. In 72 hours, the coalition would learn what happened when you pushed humanity too far. Earth had been pushed to the edge of extinction. Now it was time to push back harder." The first energy blast struck Seoul at exactly noon. Major Choi Hun-sik watched from his underground command bunker as the alien weapon carved through the sky. Like a burning sword, the blast should have turned the city center into a smoking crater. Instead, it hit something invisible and scattered like water hitting a rock. "Shield at 95%, reported Captain Nam Yeji from her console. "Direct hit, absorbed completely." Above them, the coalition fleet had spread across Earth's sky like a dark cloud. Thousands of alien ships blocked out the sun, their weapons charging for another attack. Admiral Vextar of the Dominion fleet studied his tactical display with growing confusion. "Impossible," he muttered to his officers. "Our scans showed no defensive systems." His weapon officer, a tall blue-skinned alien, checked his readings again. "Sir, the energy blast was completely neutralized. They have some kind of barrier system." On Earth, engineer Kim Ji-soo monitored the shield generators from her facility beneath Busan. The machines hummed with power. Their alien technology upgraded with human improvements. "All generators holding steady," she reported. "They can hit us all day if they want." The coalition had studied Earth for decades. Every probe they sent had shown the same thing: primitive humans with basic weapons and no real defenses. There, intelligence reports said Earth's military still used gunpowder and metal bullets. They had never detected the shield generators built into the ocean floor. They had never seen the weapons hidden inside mountains. They had never suspected that humans had been preparing for this war since the first alien crash landing. Second wave incoming, called Lieutenant Yoon Gi-won from the orbital tracking station. Multiple ships targeting population centers. The aliens opened fire with everything they had. Energy beams that could melt steel struck invisible barriers and vanished. Missiles that could destroy asteroids exploded harmlessly against shields that shouldn't exist. Dr. Park Soo-jin smiled as she watched the alien attacks fail. "They're using the same weapons they've always used," she told Admiral Lee Dong-yoon through the secure channel. "But we've been studying their technology for 50 years. The coalition fleet had expected to finish this in hours." Their plan was simple: destroy Earth's major cities, force the humans to surrender, then move the survivors to colony ships. Quick, clean, efficient. But the cities weren't being destroyed. The shields held against every attack. Something else was happening that made the alien commanders very nervous. "Sir," reported the coalition's sensor officer, small craft R, launching from the planet's surface. Admiral Vextar looked at his display. Dozens of tiny ships were rising from Earth, so small they barely registered on his sensors. "Ignore them," he ordered. "Focus on breaking through those shields." That was his first mistake. Colonel Oh Min-seok piloted his fighter through the debris field that surrounded Earth. His ship was smaller than most alien shuttles, but it was built with technology the coalition had never seen. The hull shifted and changed, making his fighter almost invisible to their sensors. "Prometheus Squadron to all units," he broadcast to his pilots. "Primary targets are the command ships. Hit them fast and get out." The coalition had never faced human pilots before. They didn't know about the reflexes that came from evolving on a planet full of predators. They didn't understand the creativity that came from being the underdog for millions of years. The first alien destroyer exploded without warning. Its crew never saw the human fighter that had slipped through their shields and fired directly into their power core. "What happened?" Admiral Vextar demanded. "Unknown, sir," his tactical officer replied. "The ship just ... exploded. Another destroyer died, then another. The tiny human fighters moved like ghosts through the coalition fleet, striking at weak points that no one had ever thought to protect." Major Choi Hyun-sik coordinated the ground defenses from his bunker. All surface batteries, you are clear to engage. Show them what we've been hiding. Across Earth's continents, mountains opened up to reveal weapon systems that made the Coalition's technology look primitive. Energy cannons that had been reverse-engineered, from crashed alien ships, improved with human innovations, and hidden for decades. The first shot came from the Himalayas. A beam of pure energy reached up from the mountain peaks and cut through 3 Coalition cruisers like they were made of paper. How is this possible? Admiral Vextar screamed at his staff. They're supposed to be primitives. Engineer Kim Jisoo watched her power readings spike as Earth's hidden weapons came online. All systems at maximum capacity, she reported. Giving them everything we've got. The Coalition had brought overwhelming force to crush a primitive species. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that had been preparing for this battle for generations. Every crashed ship, every captured alien, every piece of technology had been studied and improved. Captain Nam Yeji coordinated the counterattack. From her command ship, all units focus fire on their communication arrays. If they can't talk to each other, they can't coordinate. The Coalition's perfect formation began to crumble as human weapons carved through their fleet. Their confidence turned to confusion, then to fear. Admiral Vextar realized that his intelligence reports had been completely wrong. These weren't primitive humans. These were apex predators who had been hiding their true strength. The siege had begun, but Earth was pushing back harder than anyone had imagined. Colonel Ominsiak's fighter slipped through the wreckage of what had once been the Coalition's command group. His ship moved like a shadow against the stars, its hull shifting colors to match the darkness around it. Behind him, 30 more fighters followed in perfect formation, invisible to alien sensors. Target the communication towers, he whispered into his radio. Cut their ability to talk to each other. The Coalition had never seen technology like this. Their ships were built for power and intimidation, not for the kind of precise warfare that humans had perfected. Every alien vessel was huge, heavily armed, and completely visible to any scanner. Human ships were different. They were small, fast, and designed to hide. Engineer Kim Ji-soo had spent years perfecting the adaptive hull technology that made them nearly impossible to detect. The aliens could only see them when it was too late. Prometheus Squadron, weapons free, the Wominsiak ordered. The first alien communication array exploded in a shower of sparks and metal. Then another. Within minutes, the Coalition fleet was deaf and blind, unable to coordinate their attacks. On Earth's surface, Specialist Han Yuna worked at her computer terminal deep beneath Seoul. Her fingers moved across the holographic displays as she broke into the Coalition's computer networks. The aliens had made a critical mistake. They used the same security codes across all 7 species. "I'm inside their system," she reported to her team. "These idiots never thought anyone could hack their networks." The Coalition's computers were advanced, but they were designed to keep other aliens out, not humans. Human hackers thought differently, approached problems from angles that alien programmers had never considered. "Upload the virus," ordered Major Choi Hyun-sik from his command bunker. "Let's see how they like fighting each other." Han Yuna's fingers flew across her controls. The virus spread through the Coalition network like wildfire, turning their own systems against them. Navigation computers began giving false directions. Weapon systems started targeting friendly ships. Most importantly, their translation systems began broadcasting human psychological warfare directly into alien minds. Admiral Vextar clutched his command chair as his ship's weapons powered down without warning. "Engineering? What's happening?" "Unknown." "Sir," came the panicked reply. "All systems are malfunctioning. Our computers are acting like they're under attack, but we can't find the source." The Coalition had thought their technology was superior in every way. They had never imagined that humans could turn their own advanced systems against them. Every alien ship in the fleet was now fighting its own computers. Dr. Park Soo-jin monitored the battle from her research station. "They're falling apart," she reported to Admiral Lee Dong-yoon. Their coordination is completely broken. Dong-Yun smiled grimly. Phase 2. Activate the orbital platforms. Above Earth, hidden weapons that had been disguised as space junk for decades suddenly came to life. Satellites that looked like broken debris revealed themselves as sophisticated weapon systems. The coalition had been surrounded from the moment they arrived. What are those? Admiral Vextar demanded as his sensors picked up new energy signatures. Unknown contacts, his tactical officer replied. They're everywhere. How did we miss them? The orbital platforms opened fire with weapons that the coalition had never seen before. Energy beams that could slice through their strongest armor. Missiles that could track and destroy multiple targets. Technology that combined alien engineering with human creativity. Lieutenant Yoon-gi, Won, coordinated the attack from Luna Base. All platforms firing at maximum capacity. Enemy fleet is taking heavy damage. The coalition had expected to face primitive weapons. Instead, they found themselves fighting technology that was more advanced than their own. Every crashed alien ship, every captured piece of equipment, every stolen scan had been studied and improved by human engineers. Engineer Kim. Jisoo watched her power readings spike as Earth's hidden arsenal revealed itself. Weapon systems at 100%, she reported. We're giving them everything we've built over the past 50 years. The coalition fleet was in chaos. Their ships collided with each other as their navigation systems failed. Their weapons fired at random targets as human viruses took control. Their communications were filled with human propaganda designed to break their morale. Sir, reported the coalition's sensor officer, we're detecting massive energy signatures from the planet's surface. They have weapons we never detected, Admiral. Vextar realized that everything they thought they knew about humanity was wrong. These weren't primitive creatures using basic technology. These were apex predators who had been hiding their true capabilities for generations. Captain. Nam Yeji coordinated the final phase of the attack from her command ship. All units, prepare for close assault. It's time to show them what human pilots can really do. The coalition's perfect formation dissolved completely as human fighters swarmed through their ranks. Every alien ship found itself fighting multiple enemies at once. Their own systems turned against them. Their communications jammed, their weapons malfunctioning. How is this possible? Admiral Vextar screamed. Ah! They're supposed to be centuries behind us! But Dr. Park So-jin had the answer. They assumed that newer technology meant better technology, she told her team. They never considered that sometimes. Being underestimated is the greatest weapon of all. The coalition had brought overwhelming force to crush a primitive species. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that had turned their own arrogance into a weapon. Earth's hidden arsenal was finally revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The coalition fleet drifted in broken pieces across Earth's orbit. What had once been thousands of proud warships was now a graveyard of twisted metal and dead engines. Engineer Kim Jisoo watched the energy readings from her underground facility. Noting how quickly the alien power signatures were fading, 70% of their fleet is disabled, she reported to Admiral Lee Dong-Yun. The rest are trying to retreat to the outer system, but retreat wasn't going to save them. Lieutenant Yoon-Guan coordinated the pursuit from her command station, tracking every alien ship that tried to escape. Hunter squadrons are in position, she announced. No one leaves without our permission. The coalition had made a fatal mistake. They had assumed that their 7 species working together would be stronger than any single enemy. But unity required trust, and trust required respect. The aliens had never respected each other, only feared each other's weapons. Sir, reported Captain Nam Yeji from the diplomatic center. The Crystalline Dominion is requesting separate negotiations. They want to surrender independently. Admiral Dong-Yun studied the tactical display. The alien alliance was cracking under pressure. What about the others? The Hive Collective is already withdrawing to the edge of the system, Nam Yeji replied. The Void Hunters are trying to contact their home fleet. None of them trust each other anymore. This was exactly what Dr. Park So-jin had predicted. Divide and conquer, she had told the human leadership months ago. They think unity is strength, but their unity is based on fear, not friendship. Put enough pressure on them, and they'll turn on each other. Major Choi Hoon-sik led his strike team through the corridors of the captured Coalition flagship. The alien crew cowered in their quarters, too terrified to resist. These weren't the primitive humans they had expected to slaughter. These were apex predators who had turned their own technology against them. "Bridge secured," he reported through his radio. "The remaining Coalition commanders are cooperative." The alien admirals sat in their command chairs like broken dolls. Admiral Vexstar stared at the human soldiers with eyes full of fear and confusion. His perfect fleet had been destroyed by creatures he had dismissed as insects. "How?" he whispered to Major Choi. "No. How did you do this?" Choi smiled coldly. "You studied us for decades, but you only saw what you wanted to see. You thought we were weak because we let you think we were weak." The Coalition had fallen into the oldest trap in warfare, underestimating their enemy. They had watched humans for generations, but they had only seen primitive rockets and basic weapons. They had never detected the massive preparations happening beneath Earth's surface. Specialist Han Yuna continued her work from her computer terminal, spreading chaos through what remained of the Coalition network. "I've got access to their fleet communications," she reported. "They're blaming each other for the defeat." The alien species had never truly worked together. They had formed their alliance out of mutual fear and greed, not friendship. Not that they were losing. The old hatreds were surfacing. "The Serpent Lords are accusing the crystalline dominion of cowardice," Han Yuna continued. "The Void Hunters are saying the Hive Collective sold them out. They're turning on each other faster than we can attack them." Colonel Ominsiak's fighters prowled through the wreckage, hunting down any alien ship that tried to escape. His pilots moved like wolves through the debris field, their ships invisible to alien sensors until it was too late. "Prometheus Squadron to all units," he broadcast. "Any ship that tries to leave the system without permission is to be destroyed, no exceptions." The Coalition had thought their technology was superior. They had never imagined that humans could improve on their designs. Every crashed alien ship had been studied. Every piece of technology reverse-engineered and enhanced with human innovations. Engineer Kim Jisoo powered up the final phase of Earth's defenses. "All planetary weapons are online," she reported. "If any of them try to bombard us from long range, we can reach them."
Oh.
The aliens realized with growing horror that they were completely surrounded. Earth's weapons could strike them anywhere in the solar system. Their own ships were turned against them. Their alliance was falling apart. "Status report," Admiral Dong-Yoon ordered. The reports came in from across the system. The Coalition's 7 species were no longer working together. 3 had already requested separate surrender terms, were trying to flee to their home systems. The remaining 2 were fighting each other as much as they were fighting humans. "Sir," Captain Nam Yeji said quietly, "we're receiving surrender requests from individual ships. Their crews are abandoning the Coalition and asking for mercy." Dong-Yoon nodded. "Accept the surrenders, but keep them under guard. We're not done yet." The Coalition had pushed humanity to the edge of extinction. They had come to Earth expecting to find frightened primitives who would submit without a fight. Instead, they had found apex predators who had been preparing for this war for generations. Dr. Park Soo-jin watched the alien fleet disintegrate on her displays. "They never understood us," she said to her team. "They thought we were like them, but we're not. When humans are pushed to the edge, we don't break. We become more dangerous." The surviving Coalition vessels hung in space like broken toys, their crews stunned into silence. Admiral Vexstar sat in his command chair aboard the captured flagship, his hands shaking as he stared at the human soldiers who now controlled his ship. The mighty fleet that had come to destroy Earth was nothing more than scattered wreckage. "All Coalition vessels, this is Admiral Lee Dong-Yoon of Earth Defense Command." The human voice echoed through every alien ship in the system. "You will receive new orders." Dr. Park Soo-jin stood beside Dong-Yoon in the main command center, watching as her translation systems carried his words to thousands of alien ears. The irony wasn't lost on her. The Coalition had come to give humanity an ultimatum. Now Earth was returning the favor. "You came here 72 hours ago with demands," Dong-Yoon continued, his voice calm but carrying the weight of absolute authority. "You told us to leave our home or face destruction." Now I have demands for you. Behind him, Engineer Kim Ji-soo operated the holographic display that showed Earth's true military power. Weapons that could crack planets open like eggs, ships that could fold space and appear anywhere in the galaxy, technology that made the Coalition's best equipment look like stone tools. You have 1 hour, Dong-Yoon said. Complete withdrawal from the Sol system. Formal recognition of Earth's independence, and payment for the damage you caused to our cities. The alien commanders stared at their screens in disbelief. 3 days ago, they had been the masters of the galaxy. Now they were prisoners listening. 2 ultimatums from the species they had planned to exterminate. Sir, whispered Admiral Vextar's tactical officer, what about Protocol Prometheus? Our intelligence says they have some kind of final weapon. Colonel Ominsiak's voice cut through the communication channels, cold and precise. You want to know about Protocol Prometheus? Let me show you. The display changed, showing a massive installation hidden beneath Earth's surface. The weapon was enormous, built into the planet's core itself. Energy readings showed power levels that could sterilize entire solar systems. This is what happens when you push humans too far, Omincio explained. We built a weapon that would turn our own star into a supernova. If we can't have our home, nobody gets to have anything. The coalition leaders felt ice in their veins. These humans had been prepared to destroy their own world rather than surrender it. They had faced an enemy willing to commit mutual annihilation. Rather than submit to slavery, Major Choi Hoon-sik stood guard over the alien prisoners, watching their faces as they realized the truth. You thought we were afraid of death, he said quietly. But death doesn't scare us. What scares us is living without freedom. Lieutenant Yoon Ji-won monitored the coalition fleet from her station, noting how the alien ships were slowly backing away from Earth. Multiple vessels are signaling surrender, she reported. They're requesting permission to withdraw. But Admiral Dong-Yoon wasn't finished. You came here because you thought we were weak, he broadcast to the alien fleet. You saw our primitive technology and assumed we were helpless? That was your mistake. Specialist Han Yuna had spent the last hour uploading human technology specifications to the Coalition's databases. Now every alien in the fleet could see exactly what Earth had been hiding. Weapons that bent physics, ships that could travel faster than light, defenses that could stop any attack. We let you think we were primitive, Dong-Yoon continued. Every probe you sent, every scan you made, every intelligence report you filed, we controlled what you saw. We wanted you to underestimate us. Coalition had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years, had conquered hundreds of worlds, enslaved dozens of species, and never faced serious resistance. They had thought Earth would be just another easy victory. Captain Nam Ye-ji coordinated the final surrender negotiations from her diplomatic station. The Crystalline Dominion has agreed to all terms, she reported. The Hive Collective is requesting safe passage home. The Void Hunters want to discuss reparations. One by one, the 7 species that had formed the coalition began to break their alliance. Fear of human retaliation overcame their desire for Earth's resources. The unity that had made them powerful crumbled in the face of an enemy they couldn't understand. We studied you for decades, Dr. Park Soo-jin added, her voice carrying to every alien ship. We learned your weaknesses, your fears, your prejudices. We knew exactly how to turn your own alliance against you. Engineer Kim Ji-soo began powering down the Doomsday weapon, its massive energy signature fading from the displays. Protocol Prometheus is standing down, she announced. We won't need it today. The Coalition fleet began its slow retreat from Earth's solar system. Ships that had arrived with confidence and arrogance now limped away in defeat. The galaxy's most powerful alliance had been broken by a single planet they had dismissed as insignificant. Remember this day, Admiral Dong-Yoon? Broadcast as the alien ships departed. Remember that Earth is not to be threatened? We gave you a choice, just like you gave us a choice. The difference is, we meant it. The Coalition had pushed humanity to the edge of extinction, but they had forgotten that the edge was where the most dangerous predators lived. Earth had pushed back harder than anyone thought possible, and the galaxy would never forget. The war was over. Humanity had won.